If you enjoy the show, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it to your social media platforms. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show. Welcome back, everyone. Matt with Tactical Tequila Podcast. And on the show tonight, we have Gaby from Tapatio. Gaby is the head of hospitality at Tequila Tapatio. And Gaby, just go ahead and give a small background from you for those listeners that are not familiar with who you are.
Okay. First of all, thank you for having me. Uh, Welcome, everyone. My name is Gaby. I am part of the fourth generation of tequila producers at my family, La Alteña and Tequila Tapatio. But actually, I am a publicist. I studied publicity and strategical communications at ITESO University in Guadalajara. And I was not looking for or looking to be part of the family business at first. That's something that happened by a casualty. Casualty. I'm sorry. I was not looking for that, but at first I was working in Guadalajara. I was at a digital marketing agency, and then on 2020, when the lockdown started, the chance to move back to Arandas came, and so I came back to Arandas and I started working at La Alteña. But at first, I was only managing the social media, so I was not at hospitality at first. That's something that happened slowly.
I mean, it sounds like quite the journey so far. What does your average day-to-day look like in your role?
Okay, right now I live in Guadalajara again, but usually when I'm at La Alteña, I'm receiving guests, and I usually give them the tour, and we get to see the whole process, have a tasting, talk about the history of my family and the history of the brand. And what I'm trying to do is to make them fall in love with the brand, as I have fallen after working in this for 5 years already.
Okay. I will tell you, just in my personal opinion, it is one of the most underrated tequilas, in my opinion. I think you guys have an exceptional brand. I would drink Tapatio 110 on a daily basis if, given the opportunity. And, for the price point, it's an amazing tequila, I think.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, the 110 is my favorite too. So I will drink it on a daily basis too.
How would you say, how has your approach to the hospitality evolved since you joined the family business? And how does it connect with the brand's core values?
Okay. First of all, everything that I know about hospitality, I learned it at La Alteña. I didn't know everything, anything before. I had the opportunity to meet a lot of people that is involved on the industry of the tequila and on the spirit distills, and they are so welcoming and they are so warm and are so proud to show them the people what they are doing, that I just have been learning from them. I had a lot of mentors, and I have been trying to learn from them. Before I came to this position, I had no idea what hospitality was and how important it was on this business. It is indispensable, but I didn't know that before. So I actually care a lot about people knowing the brand and people getting to know everything that we have to offer, or history or processes. So I am still learning every day.
And in this industry, learning every day. If you're not learning every day, I feel like you're a step behind, because you should always be learning something within, from, like you said, your mentors, or from even just now social media influencers that come through and know what they know. I feel like, yeah, if you're not constantly learning, that's just like in my normal day job. Like if you're not constantly learning, then you're a step behind everyone.
Yes, you are stuck.
Yes, I would agree with that 100%. Just as a quick side note, so normally Tapatio 110 does not look like this. So this is actually kind of special. I rested Tapatio 110 in a small baby barrel for 3 weeks. It's in a white American oak barrel with a level 3 char, and already loving Tapatio 110, and then now getting all the barrel notes onto the 110. For me, it's even more phenomenal than just the normal Blanco.
It sounds very interesting.
I I, I am gonna save you some.
Yes, please, please. I want to try that. That I also, actually I want to know what do you think of the result of that? What kind of notes did you get? Or...
So with that char level, I get a lot of the oak finish to it. There's a slight, I feel like, vanilla. You still get the cooked agave on it. Not so much of the spice as you would on the 110 Blanco, but it has a subtle finish with that char.
Mhm. Do you think 3 weeks was a good time, or would you like to try to let it rest more?
I want to let it rest more. Um, but also at the same time, and as you know this, with any aging process, you could like it one day and then the next day it's like, oh man, and then trying to make sure that you get it right throughout the entire process is, you're just like, oh man, do I let it go another day? Do I let it go another week? And at 3 weeks, I was like, man, this tastes just so amazing. Like I just want to bottle it now and
That's one
enjoy
of the
it.
good things.
But I think next time, I think I will, definitely let it go anywhere from a month to maybe 6 or 7 weeks just to see. Um, but right now, yeah, I am really enjoying this, and I'm gonna get a small sample bottle to you.
Thank you. Thank you. And from the next one too, please. The one
Yes,
that you want
yes,
to let
definitely.
7 weeks.
So I liked I I took out a little bit at 2 weeks, and I thought it was good, but I was like, no, I gotta set it up a little bit longer, let it sit, and I let it sit for 3, and I was like, wow, like I'm just blown away by the way that it tastes and everything. And I took it to a bottle share here in Las Vegas, and everyone that sampled it loved it.
Okay.
Um, so kind of getting back to you know Tequila Tapatio, um, it's known for the craftsmanship, but how do you ensure that ethos is reflected in every guest interaction that come to the distillery?
Hmm. Something that helped me personally to understand the brand was to use all my senses, like touching everything, smelling everything, trying everything on each step of the process. And that's what I'm trying to do with the guests that visit us. I'm trying to make this a very immersive and interactive experience, and to let them to experiment and to try everything that they can, so that at the end, when they try the tequila, they can relate exactly which part of the process they are tasting on the glass. Um, I actually think that it's very important to don't have a very specific speech that you repeat over and over and over. What you need to do is to talk from the heart and trying to let people know what you think from the process and from everything that you are talking about. Mm, it is necessary to do that, and it's very important, like, just to do it from the heart so that they can relate a little more with you and with the brand that you are talking about. And actually, and luckily for me, this is very easy because it is my family's brand, so I am talking from what I love. And I think that that is what makes a huge difference on the way that you are showing the people what you are doing.
And would you say that that's kind of what sets Tapatio apart from other brands, is the amount of love and experience that you bring into each tour and experience?
Yes, but no, I don't know. I think that there are a lot of brands that are showing you what they do by heart. But what does makes it different is the way that you are trying to transmit that information. Uh, I am talking from my perspective. I am very new at this industry also. I have been working on this only for 5 years, but I have been involved since I was a baby. When I was going with my mother to her work. I was already trying tequila when I was in kindergarten. She didn't knew that. You wouldn't have allowed that, but for me, it goes back to the senses again. Actually, when you are smelling something, you are going back in time to some memories. That is the sense that is more related to your memory. So for me, when I walk into the distillery, I go back to my childhood, and I'm trying to make people to go back to one time that they were enjoying and that they were uh, having a happy memory. So probably it's not going to be exactly the same for them that for me, but I'm trying to transmit that, and I think that that is very important also on this field.
I can imagine so. I know my plan is to actually get to the distillery at some point. We were a couple trips ago. We were trying to make our way to El Pandillo and got lost.
Oh,
We ended up out in the middle of an agave field, and then coming back, we actually passed the distillery, but we were still trying to get to El Pandillo at that time,
no.
and I was like, "Oh man, there it is!" And like it was just so close. But yeah, I definitely want to make it down there for a tour for sure.
Yes, you will enjoy it a lot, I promise.
Well, I from everyone that I've talked to and from seeing posts on Instagram and other outlets, like it just seems like it's very homey. It's very like, as you described, you want that experience for them to go back to a happy time, and I feel like I see that in all the posts, and I see that it's, of course, family oriented, which, the majority of good tequila brands are family, oriented. And I think that that is one of the key aspects of what I love about tequila so much now, is that it's just all encompassing of everything.
Okay, thank you. I hope that you get to visit us soon, because something else that you will notice when you visit La Alteña is that as soon as you step into the distillery, the same building is going to evoke some nostalgia in you, because it is an old building and it has uh, a lot of good vibes around, because people is really friendly, and they have been working at La Alteña for many years. We have people that have been there for more than 30 years, 40 years.
Oh
So
wow.
it is very welcoming, and as soon as you step in, you feel all of that, and it will evoke some good feelings and some nostalgic memories for you.
How would you say that the distillery is going in the way of sustainability and, of course, tradition in the approach to your side of stuff of customer engagement and hospitality?
Okay. Um, as an industry, as a business, we are obviously trying to be uh, sustainable on every part of the process. But showing this is very important for the brand. I forgot the word. The brand reputation. Okay, so we have been looking to be sustainable since the beginning, but many people don't know that. So what we are doing when we receive people at the distillery is trying to show them that. Since the moment that we are harvesting the agaves or planting agaves, from the fields to the final step, we have a lot of processes that are being sustainable. For example, when we harvest the agave, we are not going to plant agave on that field for another couple of years. We are doing crop rotation so that the soil gets to recover and to have back some of the nutrients that the agave was taking during the time it was living there. Also, we are trying to recover all of the organic materials and waste that we are producing, like the fibers, the pencas or the leaves of the agaves, the cogollos. We are making compost with that and taking it back into the fields to fertilize our own fields, our own agaves. Also, we are balancing the pH of the vinazas, the waste of the distillation, and we use that to irrigate the fields. We are trying to give back a little of what we take from the land, and we are trying to do it so with our own organic waste. And many people don't know that because we are not communicating that on social media. We are not doing that. It doesn't say that on the bottle. So when they visit us, we are trying to show all of that. They realize that we are trying to be sustainable. We are trying to be responsible with the environment, and they learn that until they visit us. So I think we need to work on that, to making people to know that even if they don't visit us. But it is a very, very important part, because a lot of the new generations of consumers are looking for that on the products that they consume. So it is very important that they know that from the beginning.
And you kind of touched on it a little bit in a previous question. What are some unique aspects of Tapatio's tasting experience that you feel build stronger connections with the consumer?
On the tasting experience,
Yes.
okay, when at La Alteña, we are actually producing two brands, Tapatio and El Tesoro. I don't know if you have tried it already, El Tesoro?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We do both brands. And many people think that as the two brands are made on the same building with the same quality agave and very similar processes, they think that the liquid is the same, but just on a different bottle. So what we do when we have tastings at La Alteña is to taste them together so that they can see how different these two products are, just because two or three small differences that we have during the process, like the percentage of the tahona that we use during the milling process, or how much of copper we have during distillation. And it's not that much of a difference when we are producing the product, but those small changes make a huge difference on the profile. And well, knowing this when they visit us and trying these two products together is what we are trying to do as a differentiator, or a very important step to know the brands.
And how would you say that you educate the consumers on the different expressions of Tequila Tapatio and also El Tesoro, since both are made there, and how do you ensure that they enjoy that experience to the fullest?
Okay. Another part of my current position, my job right now, is not only receiving people at the distillery. I am also visiting distributors or the food and beverage places to give them some trainings and to show them how to taste tapatio, how they can do some pairings, to talk to them about the processes and the history, and so that they can know how we are making our product, even if they don't visit the distillery. So that is also part of my job. I'm trying to show them the different expressions and talk to them about every single step. How the 110 is different from the regular blanco. Many people don't know that. They just see two different color on the labels and they say both are blancos. What is the difference? They don't read the percentage of the alcohol. So we need to be very specific when we talk to the customers, to the distributors, and to bartenders and people who are working with our product, so that when they talk to the final consumer, they can be very precise on the way that we are doing
Okay. Um, Obviously, the additive free market has exploded, within the last year, 2 years, even. Maybe even just a little bit longer than that, but we've seen it a lot more within the last 2 years. I feel. Um, how do you see the industry evolving in terms of hospitality and consumer preferences?
it. It's a little about what I was saying before. The generations are looking for different things now that they were doing before. And something that is really important, and that's how hospitality enters into this conversation, will be that we need to offer them an experience, not only a product. So before, people were just trying things and they either like it or not, and that was it. But right now, what we need to do is to offer them an experience and not only a product, to make them fall in love and feel part of the process and to feel part of the family that we are. Um, so that they can identify with the brand and they can feel a little closer to it. Not only when we talk, younger generations are looking for all the information that they can get on the products. They want to know which ingredients we are using, how it is produced, are we being socially responsible or not? And they are taking all of this into consideration when they are making a consumption decision or a purchase decision. They are not only looking, not all of them are looking for a pretty bottle or for a product that just tastes good. They are looking for the background and everything that is involved in the making of that product.
Well, I mean, I can tell you that, when I first started drinking um, tequila and additive free tequila, I was like, I don't know, like the label was interesting to me. Like you would never think that the juice was so good based on the label. And I think that's why Tequila Tapatio is one of the most underrated tequilas, is because a lot of people look at the label and they're like, "Oh, it's not a pretty label." And I'm not trying to um, dissuade anyone based on the label. Like every tequila brand has their own label, and I appreciate this label, but it makes you think twice once you actually try the tequila itself. And drink what you like, of course, but you know definitely try this tequila and go through the experience. Like I feel like again, it's one of the most underrated tequilas. How would you say that the trends that you're seeing and how people approach the tequila culture, how do you adapt to that?
I think that the trends are really related to that, to the what consumers are looking for, the experience. Um, but we have, in my opinion, like two sides. There's people who are looking for pretty bottles only. We say in Spanish, de la vista nace el amor. You will love what you see or what you like how it looks like. Many people are only choosing the products that they consume because it looks pretty. But there are another segment that it's looking more in depth for what the brand has to offer, not only how it looks like. My grandfather used to say, I'm in the business of making good tequila, not pretty bottles. And we like that saying that he used to have. But in this market at this point, it is difficult for a brand that doesn't look pretty to go to new markets or to get to new customers. So it is difficult. We are trying to be loyal to what my grandfather used to say, but it's starting to get difficult because of that.
And how many markets are you in currently?
Uh, like I don't know.
Or
We are
how many
obviously.
how many states?
Hmm, we are. I don't know how many states in the states we are. We are in the states. We are in Canada. We are in Mexico, Japan, some places in Europe, but I'm not pretty sure of exactly where. We are trying to grow. Right now, we don't have the uh, capacity of production to go to a lot of new markets, but we are trying to expand our production and to be able to produce a little more. Uh, but right now, those are the places that we are.
Okay. And how do you approach building long-lasting relationships with your customers with such a competitive industry?
Hmm. Personally, what I am looking is to create real relationships and friendship with the people that I get to know. Uh, I'm not offering them only the product, only the brand. I'm offering them a relationship with me and with my family and with the brand and with all the families that are involved. Um, I believe that um, mm, if we have this approach, a good experience, a good relation that we create each time they see that bottle on the stand or somewhere, they are going to go back to that memory when they were having a good time, when they met somebody that they like or they didn't like. I don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
they are going to remember the brand because of the experience that they had. So I'm trying to give them the best experience and to try to make them enjoy their visit to the distillery, to enjoy the product, and to have a good time enjoying some good tequila.
So here's an off-the-wall question. If you were stranded on a desert island and you had to pick one of the expressions that you guys make at the distillery, what expression would you pick?
Tapatio 110. I will not even hesitate about that. And that is my favorite expression. I think that is the most pure expression that we can make of the tequila because we are not diluting with water anything. In there, you have everything that the process that the agave had to offer. So I really like that. This is the expression that has more depth and more layers of flavor and complexity, in my opinion. Now, same question for you.
That's a loaded question. Out of Tapatio, I would say I would agree with you. It would be the 110. Me, I'm a high proof Blanco um, connoisseur per se, or I definitely love just higher proof tequilas. and it's not anything as far as like, getting intoxicated, but it's just you get, as you said, the most purest form of what the brand is trying to get out there. If you either love their Blanco or their high proof, I feel that you will like almost any of the other expressions that the brand has to offer, because you're going to get all those flavors and aromas, and then more aromas on top of that once it's rested or aged. But you're going to get the truest form of what the brand was trying to get out with their high proof, their still strength, or just even their regular Blanco.
Exactly. Yes, I agree. And actually, we have an analogy at Lanteña when we talk about blancos and the rested tequilas.
Mm-hmm.
Blanco is the purest form of tequila. So what we like to say is that this is like a photo of the process and the agave. When you try it, there is no way to hide what we are offering. But then when you are resting that tequila into a barrel to be a reposado or an añejo, it's like you have that poro and then you add a frame so that you are making that poro to be more attractive, but you are not covering anything. You already have what you were looking for and then just framing it to enjoy a little more.
And I love that analogy. Like I've never heard it expressed that way, and I feel like that's the best that I've ever heard anyone ever try to explain, the from the Blanco to the rested or aged expressions.
Mhm. Yes, I think that it's a really a good way to explain the differences. So
I yes, 100%. In kind of moving on, in your role, how does storytelling in telling the story of your family and the process, how does that play into your hospitality role, and especially when introducing people to your heritage and the heritage of Tequila Tapatio?
I think that that is the most important part on this experience because as I was saying, when we are talking from the heart and we are letting people to see what we think and what we believe, uh, they can relate and they can uh, enjoy the same way that we are doing it, the brand, and they get to have a deep understanding of what we are doing and why we are doing it that way. I mean, each step is made a certain way, but there is a reason why we are doing it that way. And it has come from many generations before. It's not something that we just invented and we decided, I'm going to do it like this because I want. Uh, but every single step has a reason. And when we are talking from the heart and we are letting people know the history of this brand and the story of my family and the processes, and we make all these to come together, uh, it makes sense and maybe it makes a click on their heads on why they are enjoying this product and what they like of this brand.
And what would you say the most rewarding moment in your career within the distillery? What would you say that has been so far for you?
uh, it will be the person that I have become, because before I was involved in this area and in this industry, I was not this person. I was really shy. I was taking so long to meet people, and it was not easy for me. I hated to talk in public, but right now that's what I'm doing. So I think I'm a completely different person today than I was 5 years ago when I was not involved in this industry. What I really like the most is knowing new people and getting together with people that is involved in this industry and getting to know them and getting to know what they are passionate about and why they like these agave spirits. That I think that is what I like the most. uh, I have get to know people from all around the world, and I think that if I was not involved in this industry, I would not be able to do that.
And I agree with you there. I mean, granted, with my day job, I meet a lot of people, and I travel to other countries. I travel to other states, for my clients, and you know, without that job, and without this doing the podcast, I think that I would be in the same boat that you are. Like, I wouldn't be as outgoing as I am.
Mhm.
In the last, 20 years for me, it has definitely shaped the way that I have approached not only life, but approached friends, approached just individuals that I come across. It's always a different experience for sure.
Mhm. Yes.
Uh, if you were to give any advice to someone looking to get into the tequila or hospitality industry, or tequila hospitality, what advice would you give them in order to step into that role?
It's probably the more basic advice, but it would be to lose the fear, to do it. If they want to do it, just do it, because we believe that it's hard and that it's a very it is, but the same time, it's not as competitive as we think. All people that it's involved on the tequila industry are really friendly, so they are going to help you out, and they are going to be your mentors, and they are going to teach you. It's not only competing with you. So if you want to do it, lose your fear and do it. You will do good.
And so this has been a couple times that you've mentioned mentors. Who are some of your mentors?
I think on the hospitality, I will say that one of my mostly my family, my uncle Carlos will be one of them. My cousins Fanny and Marifer, they are Carlos' daughters. Probably also Julio Bermejo. He's one of my uncles. Also, he's married with my aunt Lily. And do you know who he is?
I actually saw him week before, last week. I
Oh,
was up
really?
in San Francisco, and was at Tommy's. Had a few had a few drinks and dinner with him.
Yeah, he's amazing, and he knows everything about every brand of tequila that there
Oh,
is. I think he knows more than the people that are actually involved with the brands. So, and he's
he
really good at hospitality. A lot. He
he to me is like a walking encyclopedia of tequila.
he is.
For sure.
Uh,
And of course, he had, a hand in helping write the book. I believe it was The Ambassador of Tequila.
uh,
I think that was the book.
who was writing that?
Well, he had a hand in that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Um,
about the book about Thomas.
yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So, he also came to one of our events here in Las Vegas, and showcased the Tommy's Margarita for our G4 launch here in Las Vegas.
Uh-huh. Okay, and when did you meet him? Did you meet him at one of those events, or when you were?
Yep. So when I originally met him, I met him at the G4 event here in Las Vegas, and then hadn't seen him in almost a year, and I was like, I've never been to Tommy's, and I was in the area. I was like, I got to drive there. It was an hour away from where I was staying. I went up, had dinner, a few drinks, chatted with him, and it's just the knowledge that he has is
Huge.
yeah, it's huge.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes, I will say that he's one of the biggest mentors that I have. And actually, I have known a lot of people because of him. Everybody knows him else. And so he's always introducing you to new people, to new distilleries, new processes, and he knows everything. So I really like.
Yeah, and his from talking to him last week, his schedule is going to be extremely busy over the next year.
Yeah, he's
With
always busy.
traveling and yeah. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see what he has in store for upcoming, and what kind of getting back to Tapatio. Where would you say, or are there any good, not even good, but I get not the right wording. Is there anything upcoming for the distillery that viewers should know, or that you wanna key them in on? Are there any new? Are you trying anything new at the distillery? New expressions?
Not at the moment. No, we are not doing anything new. But I believe that soon we will have more excelencia that many people has been asking for. But we would love in the near future to start doing some new expressions, some probably some special editions, and something different. But right now we are not working with any.
Okay. And then do you guys do any barrel picks, or do you have a barrel pick program that you guys do
Not
with?
yet, not yet, but many people have been asking for that. They want to pick a barrel of Tapatio, so we are working on that. We hope to have um, a single barrel program for Tapatio soon.
Well, that would be amazing. And if, Tactical Tequila can get in on that, for sure, let me know. I would love to.
Yeah, we will love that too. Yeah, I hope that we can concrete that soon.
That would be a good collaboration, I think. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Okay, on Instagram they can find me as Flores Camarena G or Gabriela Flores Camarena, and they will find me. And exactly the same everywhere on TikTok, on Facebook, Instagram, and that's it.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Gabby. I appreciate your time. And again, Tapatio 110.
Thank
If
you.
we can get cases of it on a stranded island, I think we're good.
Thank you. No, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to finally meet you, and I hope to see you soon at La
Yes,
Distillery.
likewise.
Okay. Well,
Thanks, everyone.